Hey everybody, this is All Things Cheryl here to give you a review and a recap of That Was Then. Episode 7, That Was Then, Season 3 of Greenleaf. Ooh, girl. Girl. So much went on. They tried to make up for the week that they definitely didn't come on. So much went down. Where do I want to start? I guess I want to start with let's start with no, let's go. I'm going to try to go by blow, maybe blow by blow. This might be a little long, but try to get it all in as much as I can. We Grace is basically in her bedroom checking checking out a story about this woman that's called Carless, who is the woman who basically killed her husband with a hammer. So she's basically in jail for killing the husband and killing the husband while he was asleep. While Grace was basically looking at the article and everything on the internet, Sophia comes in and asks her mother if she could basically, you know, I think talk to one of the teachers about her not doing the little saints anymore. And so, of course, Grace was basically trying to um, get Sophia to basically change her mind, but Sophia had basically already decided that she is not ready to go back to. She's not ready to go back to church, and so we, while Grace is basically dealing with Sophia, we also see that um, while she was looking at the evidence, the pictures and everything, she was having some flashbacks on her and Max, and exactly what was going on and what was going down. And so we go on and we find that Lady May goes into Zara's room and she wakes Zara up. And the reason why she wakes Zara up is because Zara is turning 18 now. Now, while she's turning 18, she tells Zara that, that she will, have time to, do to celebrate her birthday. Well, they were basically celebrating it earlier because Zara is still under martial law. And so Zara was basically not really having it. She didn't really want to move, but basically she had to do what her grandmother tells her. So at that time, we also see that Charity was basically Charity was basically still in not really feeling herself again, and so Charity, Bishop James came inside of Charity's room, and so he was having a conversation with her and everything, and she had basically asked the father, said, and when are you moving out? And so I was like, dang, Charity, what, you beginning to be a little harsh these days. And so that's when Charity was basically telling her father that, you're not really there and that soon you won't be there. And so Zara has now turned 18. And Kerissa and Jacob is basically getting ready um to go see Zara. And so Kerissa had bought 2 tickets to go to New York to see Hamilton. And so Zara was very, very excited about, going to see Hamilton. Hamilton is really big, big, big over here in New York. So if you're able to get those tickets, you're doing good. But Lady Mae put a damage in it, and she told that Zara will not be able to go to see this Broadway play. It's because she's still under punishment. And so that's when Kerissa got very upset and everything. And so that's when Kerissa was talking to Jacob to get his mother to kind of sort of loosen up the fact that this was Zara's birthday, and Kerissa wanted to take her out on her birthday, and Lady Mae didn't want it to happen. So she went to Jacob and asked Jacob, and so Jacob basically, was deciding with Carissa, is telling her that you can at least loosen up a little bit. And of course, Lady Mae didn't really want to do it, and so basically um, he fell in with the mother, and so of course Zara was basically upset about that. Now we know that the bishop and Lady Mae is they're really, really battling each other. The way that they're battling each other is that the bishop and Lady Mae's event of I guess her final sermon of going away is kind of sort of interfering with the days. And so the secretary was basically letting Lady Mae know that the bishop basically silver jubilee event was basically happening the same day that she was basically having her event. And so Lady Mae was saying, well, we're going to have this event. And so the bishop's event was happening at the church, but Lady Mae was having some difficulties. And apparently what's happening is that Lady Mae is really dishing out a lot of money to get Miss Maxine to be a part of this event. So they're battling, who's going to have what date and everything. So basically, the bishop basically made the agreement with when she does her little pep rally, as Grace would call it, the little pep rally. That once she makes that pep rally, that she's out. She has to leave the church and everything because basically that was the agreement that him and Lady Mae had made with each other. So while they're battling with each other, we see that Lady Mae basically goes into Grace's office and tells Grace that she needs her assistance in order for this event to go off really good. And so this is when Grace tells Lady Mae that basically she cannot, be a part of this pep rally as she called it and everything. And so Lady Mae was very upset due to the fact that Grace is basically trying to defend this woman and basically trying to get this woman off. And she was very upset due to the fact that Grace did not want to be a part of it. And that's when Grace called it a pep rally. And basically, if you really look at it, it is a pep rally. A pep rally for what? She makes a final sermon trying to take over the church, trying to kick the bishop out. Where is the golden rules if, I guess that's the rule, where when bishops and first lady gets divorced, it looks like the first ladies are the ones that get the short end of the deal. And so while Lady Mae was upset that Grace basically turned her down, we see that then Lady Mae go inside of the bishop's office and tell the bishop what Grace is about to do as far as trying to defend this woman, trying to get this woman off for murder. And so then that's when we find out and we go on and we see a scene where it is that we see Grace. Grace has basically ran into the what is that, the DA? Yeah, that's ran into the DA where the DA recognizes Grace and said that she was dropped for manslaughter and that she was not convicted for murdering her uncle Max. And so basically, the DA was basically threatening Grace, telling Grace, if you basically try to defend this woman or get this woman off, that he was going to use that case, use the case against her due to the fact that she killed her her uncle. And so while the DA was talking to her, he basically left. And so the woman's name was Carless. I think it's Carless. I'm sure. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it Carless. And so she basically comes in and she tells Grace right away she's not a believer and that she doesn't believe in God or anything like that. And she asked her, so where are you coming from? Church? She said, yeah, I'm coming from church. She said, well, I don't go to church. I don't believe in having faith or any of that. And so then this is when we see that basically Grace is really having some serious flashback when her and her Uncle Max was having this, this this struggle in the hotel. Oh no, in where Max used to live at. And basically, she was Grace was having some issues with the fact that she was really, really trying to kill her uncle, and she basically killed her uncle. Not, I think, yes, on self-defense, but I think she also meant to kill her uncle because this is basically Grace is having some issues and she's having some challenges, and she's beginning to revisit having those flashbacks of her and her uncle clashing. And so while we're having that, because I'm reading my notes, so of course I talked about Lady Mae really having some issues and challenges with Grace doing this. She also is having issues and challenges when she finds out that um, the bishop. Now, the bishop is really, really is getting ready to do some stupid stuff. What he did was unannounced. And so basically, the bishop goes to Lady Mae's office while, no, Lady Mae was in the office. And so this is when the bishop basically was making a call to Percy, his best friend. And he never did get around to talking to Percy. And so this is when he hung up on Percy and told Percy, look, I'll call you back later. And so this is when we find out that the bishop and Rochelle, the bishop basically asked Lady Mae if she could get, some of her, if she could invest in this cryptocurrency and bitcoins and stuff like that. And so this is when Lady Mae asks him and says, well, is this with Rochelle that you're trying to, get this money for? And you want to give her all of our money and everything? This is when Lady Mae says, no, you use your money, not mine. I'm not using one nickel, not one dime out of my account, not my personal account or anything. The question is up. It's a hell to the no. And so while Lady Mae basically told the bishop, "No, you cannot. I'm not going to give you any money to add towards this adventure that you want to do with this cryptocurrency. You don't know anything about it, but you're going to go home with Rochelle and thinking that you're going to strike rich and everything." And so, in the meantime, we get a call from Percy. Percy is calling, and uh, Charity picks up the phone and tells Percy that her father is not home, and what is it that he could do. So this is when Percy basically asks uh, Charity if she could actually come over and to help preside over a going away service. And at first, Charity basically wanted to turn them down, but she didn't. She went on and she took the offer that Percy was basically offering her. But before that, basically the bishop had went into Charity's Charity's room where she lived at and had a conversation with her, and he basically told Charity that he basically missed her and everything. So they had a very intimate scene by themselves. And Charity really, really needed that. And the bishop also told her that he misses his daughter, and they embraced each other. Now we have another scene where we see that basically Darius has um, Darius has seen Grace, and Grace is basically had told Darius exactly what had happened in the prison, and that she believed that the DA, is basically trying to stop her from freeing this woman, and that if she pursues this case further, that he was going to use her that the fact that she was involved with killing her uncle. And so this is when Darius asked Grace, you did you was defending yourself. Basically, you were defending yourself, right? You weren't trying to kill Max, right? And so while Darius basically was asking this question, Grace was really looking out the window like, really, she wanted to kill him, so she killed him. And so that's when she says, and then and Darius was waiting to hear, you know, you were doing this in self-defense, right? And so this is when Grace said yes, it was basically self-defense. Now, in the meantime, we at Triumph. Now, Jacob is at Triumph, and Jacob is really upset due to the fact that he told Kerissa that Zora could not go with her mother to go see Hamilton, and of course, Kerissa um, was very upset, and she struck back at him by saying that if it was not, if it was not, if it was not, if it that he would still be in his mother's house if she didn't really force him to strike out on his own. And so that's when Tasha, Tasha, waiting for the chance, and she picked a perfect time. She sees Jacob at the desk, and she asks Jacob. She says, "Jacob, what's wrong?" And so this is when Jacob says, have you ever done anything in your past that you wish that you no longer do it? You're not the person that you used to be." And so this is when Tasha says, yes, I remember that. And she says, well, I'm not the woman that I'm a different woman that you see now. The woman that was before, I would go to the club, I would pray and come back. And she says, yes, I understand exactly what you're saying. And so this is when I was saying to myself, no, Jacob, don't fall for it. Of course, they fell for it. He fell for it. Um, he, they embraced. They started. Tasha went for it first, and so he gave in. And I don't know if they had sex or not. We don't know, but apparently they must have had more passionate kisses because they were deep into it. And so then this is where we see Jacob. He is him and Tasha has already did their, they're slobbing down and everything. And so Jacob is basically in his car trying to trying to wipe his body off because apparently they had sex because he went and he took a shower. So Tasha and Jacob had sex because he went in and he took a shower because he was trying to wash his body off. I was trying to get off the lipstick, all the smell of her perfume and everything being on his body. And so then we see that Kerissa basically comes in. And then this is when um, Jacob tells Kerissa, he says, I basically changed my mind and we're going to go get Zara. And so this is when Kerissa says, thank you so much. It's because she's 18 now. And if she's 18 now, she's turned 18 and she's basically can do anything that she wants to. She can basically leave and we will never see her again. And I want her to feel that someone basically really, really love her. And so this is when uh, Kerissa went back and apologized for bringing up the past towards Jacob, being that she knew that he stepped out on her once, and now he has done it again, and so now he's feeling kind of guilty about basically what he has done, and so we see that. Then we see a scene where we see that Zara is such in a hurry and everything. And she's, trying to put all her clothes together. She's trying to pack. At first I was like, well, what's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up, Zara? What you up to? So we see that Zara has packed up her clothes. She's not looking uh, you know, plain Jane. She's looking all fresh. She's looking all flurried. She's got her hair hanging out. She's excited. And lo and behold, we find out that the slimy little boyfriend, Isaiah, is coming to pick her up. And so this is when she tells Grandma, because Grandma is basically trying to get uh, uh, Zoa, Zara to take the place of Sophia for the little saints. And so this is when Zara tells the grandmother, like, I'm not good with kids, and I don't think so, because basically I'm rolling out. And so this is when the grandmother, Lady Mae, was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And so this is when Zara says, look, I'm out. I'm 18 now. I can basically do whatever I want to. I'm out. And so in the meantime, while she's moving out, this is when we see the breakdown. Everybody is basically breaking down. Breaking down, this is when we see Sophia. Sophia is basically in the bathroom, breaking down, tearing up the Bible, trying to tear up the Bible, putting everything in the toilet stool, in the toilet, and trying to flush it down. So she had a little breakdown. Sophia had her little breakdown of, in terms of dealing with her spirituality. And I understand how that is because I had a little breakdown when I was at my convocation for the last 9 days. I had a little breakdown, so I understand how that could go. Um, and so we see that Grace has, tried to comfort her daughter. And then in the meantime, we see that the bishop has basically called Rochelle in again. And then Rochelle was like, oh, so what's up? What's going on? And this is when the bishop gave Rochelle another check. I don't know exactly how much money, but he gave her the check. They had a little, hopefully a little, a toast. Hopefully, we hoping that you gonna make it. And so this is when we find out where the bishop basically got that money from. The bishop got that money from Lady May's personal account. How we found out that she got that personal account is that the assistants to Patty LaBelle, they needed a check to put down on the catering. And so they needed a check like right away. And this is when the secretary said that the bishop was not really there. And then Lady May said, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We don't need the bishop. We could just go into my account. And so she goes in and she says, well, wait a minute. Let me see what's going on. And then this is when we find out that the bishop went into Lady May's personal account and apparently he must have drained it out. He drained, girl, he drained Lady May's personal account. And so she found that out. Then she went back to the house and told the bishop, you went into my personal account? She says, he said, yes, it did. He says, she tells her, well, I want you out of this house. You need to leave. And so the bishop, he pretty much figured that once she finds out that he was going to get his ass put out. And so this time, Lady May said, but this time, instead of you taking a few of your things, I want you to take every velvet suit, I mean, she was like, velvet suit, ties, every fancy little glasses, everything that you come with, take it with you. And this time I mean it. I want you out of this house. He says, well, I had anticipated that. And he tells Lady May, he says, I'll be out by tomorrow. And Lady May said, oh, hell no. You will be out tonight. I want you out tonight, right there. In the meantime, Percy is having a conversation with Charity. Charity has done the homecoming for his clients, and it was a pretty good conversation. So basically, the bishop was able to get Charity out and to get her back into her singing again. Excuse me, by way of excuse me, by way of her father. And so while while now here again, Charity doesn't know what's going on due to the fact that her niece, who just turned 18, is getting ready to run away. And so this is when we see that Zara is basically has left the building. But we knew that Zara basically was going to do that. We knew, at least I knew, that Zara was going to leave as soon as she turned 18. I said, as soon as she turns 18, she's going to roll out. And sure enough, she rolls out. Now, girl, this was a very good, and everybody was like on and popping. The acting was like, they acted their buns off. I was like, y'all act like this is the final episode. But saw a little bit of what was going on for next week, and let me tell you, it's on and popping. It's on and popping. Thank you all for subscribing to me. As always, this is All Things Cheryl here with a recap and a review. Now, what do I think? I think Charity is going to be okay. I think she's gradually going to come out of that shell. It looks like something is majorly is going to have to happen for Zara to realize that this boy Isaiah is not for her. Sophia, I don't know. Sophia is really, really having a breakdown right now. And Rochelle has got the bishop's money, so basically that was the plan. Um, it looks like everything is like getting ready to work its plans because Tasha has gotten her hands on Jacob, and I believe Tasha then basically fell in love with Jacob. She's basically, even though the plans were to, to sabotage, Jacob, get the money, but she's basically fell in love with Jacob. And I think Jacob, I don't know. And then Kerissa keeps throwing Jacob's past in his face. So that's exactly how he ran. I don't want to say ran, but he was kind of upset and tired of the fact that he knew that he was a different person, and she pushed him. Really, she did. Um, Grace. I think. Oh yeah, there was something. Grace basically went back to the jail and told Carlos that she was going to bail her out. Now I don't know. It seems like it might be something sticky and iffy to that. Because I think she told Grace that she meant to kill him, and so Grace is basically going to bail her out. And I think that's going to come back and haunt her. Um, I don't understand it. Why is it that they're issuing out so much money to host this she change or whatever they call this event, this last RuPaul for Lady Mae. So we'll find out. But they were battling tonight. Everybody was doing a breakdown tonight. Everybody was on key and on target. So till the next time, this is All Things Cheryl, a little bit long, but it was worth it. Basically, really, really worth it. As always, you know my little spiel. Hey, love is for everyone. Peace. And I'm out.